Shadow Scizor resisting the Dragon Breaths, not that you can tell, as this is one very glassy Pokemon. We fire off the Night Slash. Night Slash gets the boost, and you know what that means. It's time to start investing Protect Shield. Mewtwo PvP, gonna invest in Protect Shield, blocking up the Sky Attack. The opponent then sends out Skeleturge. Skeleturge gonna be greeted with the boosted Night Slash. Welcome back to the channel. Today is League Rotation Day, which means YouTube is going to be littered with top team videos, best teams, all the other nonsense that I personally cannot stand, and a lot of other people just want to see some battle content. So I feel obliged to try and get a video out despite being quite pushed for time. Unlike a lot of other content creators, I work a very hectic full-time job. I'm on a 12-hour day shift today, and the time of recording this video is currently 4 AM. So if you appreciate that grind, feel free to smash that like button. Today's video is going to be quite short, but it's going to be short and sweet as we take a look at Shadow Scizor in the Open Great League. If you hate fairy types, especially Charmers, as much as me, this might just be the Pokemon for you. Today's battles have been submitted to the channel by Mewtwo PvP. Team partners for Shadow Scizor are going to be a shiny Gliscor that I'm super jealous of, as I don't have one, and Dewgong. Dewgong did actually get buffed this season, gaining access to Aqua Jet, which without a doubt is one of the best moves currently in the Great League meta. Is it the correct move to go for on Dewgong? I have no idea, but I guess there's only one way to find out. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles! And in game 1, we're off to a decent start. Azumeril might be a fairy and water type, meaning our bullet punches only hit for neutral, but this trailblaze hits for super effective and comes with a 100% chance to Vampire attack. Our opponent goes straight for an ice beam that would be resisted. However, Shadow Scizor is insanely glassy. You can see just the bubbles have got us below half health. Scizor goes for the one shield, full bullet punch farm down, leaves loaded with residual energy good to go. Out comes Metachan. I don't know what's going on recently. Whenever I see battle submissions, all the opponents seem to be running former meta. Metachan very much fell out of the meta as Annihilate, and stuff like that is just objectively better. We're able to force our Protect Shield back, getting this Metachan below half health. The issue for Gliscor is Metachan will have access to Ice Punch, that'll be double super effective. The opponents send out Stunfisk. Are we in a time warp or something? I'm sure I woke up and it's 2025. Perhaps I'm wrong. Is it 2025? It's 4 AM. It's far too early for this shit. As always, I've managed to get myself distracted, but thankfully today's featured battler was not. He was able to fire off the Earthquake, forcing the final Protect Shield of the opponent. And then we see the pivot into Dewgong. Dewgong tanks the first rock slide, shields up the second rock slide. The opponent then go for the wham, bam, combo play, but don't have enough energy for the dynamic punch. Power up punch will be vamping up their attack, but it's going to be short-lived. One Ice Shard and the Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet will move in Metachan from the field of play. And as it is 2025, not 2023, Dewgong going to be able to outpace to the next Aqua Jet, and we take that game. Dewgong having access to the 40 energy charge move of Aqua Jet, certainly coming clutch there, heading into the next battle. We see Gastro on the lead, these Mud Slaps hit for neutral, however you can see we're not tanking them particularly well. Body Slam would be survivable. We're going to see Mewtwo PvP invest that protection, go straight for the Trailblaze, which I'm anticipating will force the shield back. The opponent show no respect. Get that snail off my screen. Out comes a silly electric fish. Why are people using all these Pokemon that used to be good? Lanturn certainly is not good anymore, but we're able to force our Protect Shield back, and I'm anticipating Gliscor entering the arena. Lanturn has been nerfed into absolute oblivion. Spark now generates less energy, and Surf is now more expensive. Their cheapest charge move of Surf now takes 7 sparks to get to, or 14 turns. The second Surf is reached after 6 sparks, or 12 turns, but it's still quite slow. I'm trash talking this silly electric fish, but if this Earthquake goes shielded, which it does, I think this is GG's for us. Dewgong not going to appreciate the Thunderbolt. Dewgong very bulky, but Thunderbolt going to rock us deep into the red health range. Oh boy, we're going to lose to Lanturn, but it kind of is what it is. We're going to fire off the Icy Wind, which doesn't get the job done, and we are going to concede the match. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle, we see Shiftry in the lead, an absolutely terrifying Pokemon. That thing hits like a truck. The opponent safe switch into Raichu, and Gliscor hits the field of play. At worst, this is a neutral Trailblaze or a single resisted Wild Charge. I don't understand the language. I'm not even sure what language it is, but as it wasn't very effective, I believe it was a brick break. We're going to go for the one shield, full sand attack farm down, and leave absolutely loaded. The opponent sends out their own Dewgong. I like this play. Full send the Earthquake, get your shield back, or land massive damage. Earthquake forces that Protect Shield. We look to fire off the Aerial Ace, but unfortunately a double super effective Ice Shard removes us from the field of play. Scizor re-enters the arena, looks to fire off the Trailblaze, but unfortunately does get outpaced. We see the instant no-shield deployed, calling the Icy Wind bait. The opponent does indeed go for that bait. They pivot out into Shiftry, and here comes Dewgong. Dewgong going to shield at the Leaf Blade as Shiftry hits like a truck. Interesting here, we're just going for Aqua Jet. I guess the opponent's probably going to shield this regardless. They do exactly that. This now means that this Leaf Blade isn't debuffed. Can Dewgong hang on? Dewgong, very bulky, just about survives. And we're actually able to reach the Aqua Jet. The 4 pacing on Aqua Jet coming in clutch. Aqua Jet, even resisted, does remove them from the field of play. We pivot back out into Scizor, fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze hits the super effective, but doesn't get the job done. They're on like 1 HP. I think our Dewgong's more healthy. It's going to be oeashijg versus oeashijg. Our Dewgong with more health, able to oeashijg farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, our target has been acquired. The opponent opting to stay in. Oh boy, trainer, are you ABA weak? We go straight for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze forces that Protect Shield. This is only a Swift, but I'd definitely be shielding. If the opponent doesn't like Scizor, you've got to invest in it. The opponent fire off the Swift. Then rather than concede a farm down, send out Umbreon. Scizor going to take the initiative while it's boosted to fire off one further Trailblaze, doing some very solid chip damage. We then save Scizor and make the pivot into Dewgong to absorb the energy. Umbreon hasn't hit hard, even at the best of times. The opponent opting for Foul Play over Dark Pulse. Foul Play is cheaper, but you can see these Foul Plays really don't do much of anything in neutral situations. We're going to heavily overfarm before looking to pick up a knockout with the Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet forces the Protect Shield, and that's fine for us. We still don't need to respect anything. The opponent going to fire off one further Foul Play. Dewgong tanking charge move after charge move. The opponent pivots out into Gelatin, and we switch back out into Scizor. Scizor actually just going to operate as the damage sponge. The opponent reveals they're on Bubble Beam. That's great information to know, as it means the opponent has to land a Shadow Ball to do any meaningful damage. We're going to respect the incoming charge move. Of course we get baited with a Bubble Beam, which is really unfortunate for us. That now means this Earthquake won't pick up the one-hit KO. Earthquake going to rock Jellicent into the red health range. The opponent likely fire off the Shadow Ball, looking to pick up a knockout, and Dewgong now needs to put the team on its back. Dewgong re-enters the arena. The opponent pivots out into Wigglytuff. We waste no time. Fire off the Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet removes Wigglytuff from the field of play. Back out comes Umbreon. Umbreon also going to be greeted with the Aqua Jet. Can we oeashijg farm down that Jellicent before they Hex farm us down? Oof, very close game, but unfortunately we take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle, once again we see the bulky, boring Blue Mouse in the lead position. 7 bullet punches and the Trailblaze, which is optimal timing. So if you're going to use Scizor, you're going to essentially spam that move as soon as you get it, and it will be good timing. This opponent farm up to a potential Hydro Pump. Holy moly, and they actually full send it as well. Shadow Scizor goes for the one shield. Full bullet punch farm down, leaves loaded with residual energy, good to go. Out comes Marowak. We fire off the first Night Slash, look to reach Night Slash number 2, but the double super effective fire spins are able to knock us out. I think there potentially an argument could have been made that we should have pivoted out, as we've got 2 decent answers for this Marowak. We send out Gliscor. Gliscor goes straight for the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace forces the final Protect Shield of the game. Shadow Bone probably survivable from here. The opponent actually full send a Shadow Ball. Oof, didn't see that one coming. And it's now all down to Dewgong once again to clean up. Dewgong looks to fire off the Aqua Jet. The opponent actually catch it. Kind of mad, to be honest. Anticipating we're on Aqua Jet. Who runs this moveset? I have no idea. Despite no one running this moveset, today's showcase seems to show that it actually has a lot of merit in this meta. I think in this battle it's actually going to help us emerge victorious. Aqua Jet removes Stunfisk from the field of play. Dewgong, one of the bulkiest mon in the meta. Shadow Ball simply will not cut it, and Dewgong going to win the race to the next Aqua Jet, and just like that, Dewgong is going to be on cleanup duty. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Scizor into Shadow Nidoqueen. A very nice lead for us. We just need to be mindful of potential Earth power. Scizor going to go straight for the Trailblaze. Trailblaze hits for neutral, but Shadow and Shadow Chrome going to do a lot. The opponent tanked the damage, unable to get off the Earth power. Scizor bullet punch farms down. The opponent clearly don't want the smoke, and they instantly concede the match. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Scizor into Altaria, another blast from the past Pokemon. You'd think being a Steel type this would be a good matchup. We're supposed to resist Dragon Breath, but it doesn't really look like it. Oh baby, we get the boost. So suddenly this matchup turns out to be very nice for us. As we're boosted, we're going to shield up the incoming Sky Attack. The opponent then send out Skeledirge. We're going to fire off the boosted Night Slash. Night Slash, no! Goes unshielded, almost picks up the one-hit KO. Holy crap, that's not even the same type attack bonus move. That is ridiculous. The opponent reveals Morpeko in the back with 2 shields to hide behind Dewgong. Going to be stripping that first Protect Shield, firing off the Icy Wind. The opponent has the potential to reset the debuff, but they actually opt to stay in, fire off a charge move. This is going to be single resisted and debuff, but my, it still does a lot of damage. The opponent going to fire off a potential Dark Aura Wheel. I'm going to see the final Protect Shield deployed here. The opponent fire off the Aura Wheel. I'm anticipating the switch out right on cue. There's the pivot. We waste no time. Fire off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace goes unshielded. Morpeko probably just going to die to quick moves at this point. I think here I would be committing to fast moves, but it is what it is. We can fire off the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. They are going to reach the departing charge move, but Dewgong going to be able to oeashijg farm down, and this one will be ending in victory. Dewgong able to farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Diggersby in the lead. This thing has access to Fire Punch. That is double super effective. I was kind of anticipating us making a catch, or at least catching one of these Fire Punches. Despite Fire Punch not being the hardest hitting move, it will one-shot a Shadow Scizor. We're going to fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze force our shield back. Do we see an attempted catch? No, we do not. We're actually going to sacrifice Scizor here as well. Scizor, it was nice knowing you, buddy. That Fire Punch probably moves this Shadow Scizor and every Shadow Scizor that's ever entered the Great League from the field of play. I think there we definitely should have pivoted out, as both Dewgong and Gliscor do alright into Diggersby, and Scizor likely has some play against something in the back, or at least a better matchup than this Diggersby. We're going to tank the Scorching Sand, fire off the Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet removes Diggersby from the field of play, and out comes Fortress. We're going to bank an Icy Wind and see the pivot into Gliscor. The opponent going to stay in, fire off the Rock Tomb, forcing a very annoying debuff on our attack. Rock Tomb does some solid chip damage, and out comes Alolan Ninetales. We're going straight for the Earthquake. Earthquake, even debuffed, will do a lot. The opponent invests their final Protect Shield, and we are going to concede the match. Scizor definitely had some play in the back there, so I think if we pivoted out that battle, might have had a different outcome in the next matchup. We see Mandibuzz in the lead position. On this moveset, Scizor is fully walled, so again, I am going to anticipate a switch out at some point, but as I say that, Gliscor also has a dreadful matchup here. We're going to fire off the Night Slash. I think here you should go for Trailblaze. Trailblaze would be resisted, however it does boost up our attack. It looks like Mewtwo PvP just going to sacrifice Scizor, then send out Dewgong to get the correct alignment and hope Gliscor has more play in the back. Let's see if it works out for him. Mandibuzz is very commonly paired up with Gastrodon, and if that's the core this opponent's using, Gliscor is going to absolutely shut down that snail at some point. Mewtwo PvP looking to absorb all these charge moves and commit to a huge oeashijg farm down. Out comes Gator. Gator instantly going to be debuffed with the Icy Wind. Icy Wind goes unshielded, one oeashijg and the Aqua Jet. Hopefully we pull a shield here. We need to gain some kind of advantage here. Thankfully we do force that Protect Shield and we stay in looking to force the energy. It's now going to be a 2-shielded Gliscor versus the world. Gliscor hits the field of play. You can see Sand Attack certainly will put him into Aerial Ace range. We're going to invest a Protect Shield, block it up the Hydro Cannon, even debuff. That would pick up the knockout. We overfarm ever so slightly, fire off the Aerial Ace, looking to move Gator from the field of play. The opponent invests their final Protect Shield. At this point, I think we just go for the one shield, full farm down. The opponent has a Mud Slapper. It's Marowak in the back. Marowak going to be straight in and straight out. Earthquake picks up that one-hit KO. Back out comes Gator. We've got that shield to hide behind. We're going to shield up the incoming Hydro Cannon, Sand Attack farm down, and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Shadow Scizor into Toxapex. These poison jabs are double resisted. Unfortunately for us though, Scizor is probably the only Pokemon in the meta that's going to make Brine look like a decent move. We fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze hits for neutral and of course does vamp up our attack. If we no shield this, I think we're going to be left in the red. We're not going to see it land as we are going to invest that Protect Shield. We're going to be able to outpace to the boosted Trailblaze. And it looks like this will come very close to knocking out if it goes unshielded. The opponent opts to invest that Protect Shield. We're now double boosted. Okay, we're going to see the Brine land. How much does Brine do? Oh, come on, Scizor. You make this thing look decent. Scizor able to survive and reach the Night Slash. Double boosted Night Slash will move in Toxapex from the field of play. And out comes Bastiodon. Night Slash actually got the boost there as well. So temporarily we were 4-stage boosted. This is perfect for us. Gliscor running Sand Attack. Going to tear through Bastiodon's never-ending HP. The opponent going to fire off the Stone Edge. We're going to see the final Protect Shield deployed. The opponent continued to stay in and we're going for a very, very risky Aerial Ace bait. If this goes unshielded, it's going to do nothing. Or the opponent call it as well. As much as I hate Wallface, cool to see a Shadow variant on display here. That is such an expensive Pokemon to build, like 700,000 Stardust investment if it's fully excelled. We force in the Earthquake, guaranteeing the knockout, and out comes a Alolan Ninetales, Running Charm. Dewgong races to the Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet goes unshielded. Mr. Opponent, what are you saving that final shield for? Dewgong going to be greeted with the Psyshock. Psyshock doesn't get the job done. The opponent able to get that tap. Charm down, farm down, but Gliscor able to send attack, farm down. And we will end today's video with a big fat dub. GG's and thanks for playing. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's shorter upload. As I said in the intro, I'm a bit strapped for time. However, on a Tuesday, I always try and get some content out of actual Go Battle League content to give you a break from all the top team videos, best teams and practice battles. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles on my channel, like Mewtwo PvP had. My battle submission form is linked down below. And as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.